Okay, and we'll go on to our next question from Ghetto Happy. Could the energy be projected down into the earth to cause the earthquake? And that's when we're talking about
Potential,
the Hillary, or one on the west coast.
or the ionospheric heaters and HAARP. Yeah. So if you create this hole, then you release that flood, and if it's in a zone that has a faults that are at these critical stress thresholds, then what happens is these ions now go from the radiation belts, which are at 2 Earth radii away, 5 Earth radii away, 9 Earth radii away. They're like way out there. They're now raining down into the ionosphere, which is this weak plasma. Well, now it's not a weak plasma. Now maybe it's a moderate plasma. Maybe the voltage of that area goes up to 400,000 instead of 250,000. Typically, the ionosphere is so conductive that any differences in potential like equalize out, and so it's known to have an equipotential. But during space weather impacts, during these geomagnetic storms, these big potential differences can form, like at the poles, the polar cusp, the magnetic field where it comes down, it's funneling all these solar wind ions, can raise the potentials up to like 400,000. So theoretically, you could have the same effect if you pinpoint a zone and it's strong enough that you could cause this localized increase in the electromagnetic energy of the ionosphere. And once you have a potential difference, you have a high potential here, low potential there, and you have a conductive medium in between, you create an electric current. And so it flows and it pulsates through. These electric currents in the ionosphere are very strong. They induce telluric currents in Earth's ground surface. And the tellurics in Earth's ground surface can be very strong. They can be millions of amperes in strength, depending on the depth of the current, like where it is, because the Earth gets more conductive the deeper you go. Also depends on the geology. But now, if you induce this super high powered, like high ampere current in the ground, there's a fault that's at a critical stress threshold, and it passes over that and it breaks those molecular bonds. Boom, you have an earthquake rupture. So it's a question of how close is it to that stress threshold, and also how powerful is the energy passing over it. It's not powerful enough, it's not going to do it. It'll just get it closer. But if it is of a sufficient energy level, then boom, you can trigger it. So it is all possible. It's all possible.
I always like to say anything is possible, even if it's unlikely. It is possible.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.